Hello, everyone. Are you all doing well today? This time, the Japanese forum thread we're introducing is about moments when people felt like their lives were over, those desperate, hopeless situations. In this thread, participants share their thrilling past experiences. The stories range from laughable to truly hair-raising close calls. By the way, this video is an experimental channel that fully utilizes AI and automatic translation services. If you notice any issues or have requests, please leave a comment so we can improve. Of course, we also welcome suggestions for future topics. Now, let's get straight to the main topic. As you listen, think back to your own "I was doomed" moments and enjoy the stories to the end.
Share a moment when you felt absolutely doomed.
When I realized I'd lost my house key while out, and I live alone.
When a woman glared at me on a packed train. I'm not a groper.
When I touched my head and realized I had no hair left.
When my PC suddenly started rebooting endlessly.
When my part-time boss yelled my name across the store.
When it was my turn at the convenience store register and I realized I'd forgotten my wallet.
When my part-time manager smiled and beckoned me over.
When I realized I'd missed the application deadline for my top choice university. Still regret it.
During checkout, I opened my wallet and saw what I thought was a 10,000 yen bill was actually 1,000 yen, and I was way short.
While riding my motorcycle, I rounded a curve and saw a massive boulder right ahead. I went flying, bike and all.
When a knife came flying at me.
I tried to punch it, but it was an afterimage. I knew that too, so I predicted where the real attacker would appear. But then I heard, "Too bad," that was also an afterimage, from behind me.
I have only 20,000 yen in savings. But I'm unemployed and still owe 26,000 yen on my car loan.
Just now, I looked around my room and saw about 10 Gundam models lined up vertically.
When I finished building the top floor of my card tower.
When I left my iPod, filled with data too embarrassing to show anyone, at a friend's house.
When I accidentally accessed a browser crasher.
When I carelessly used my credit card and got hit with a 300,000 yen bill.
When my steering failed on a snowy road, and I veered into oncoming traffic. A car was heading straight for me, I prepared for death.
After solving a long math proof, I realized I'd misread the question.
When I eliminated a young warrior with potential, knowing they'd become a threat later.
When my monthly salary was 8,000 yen.
When I barely made it to the toilet with intense stomach pain, only to find it occupied.
When my girlfriend said, "I'm pregnant."
When Frieza said, "My power level is 530,000.
When a tsundere girl blushed and said, "I didn't do it for you, okay."
When my boss said, "I don't trust you anymore."
When I failed a required university course.
After pulling an all-nighter to finish a due tomorrow report, the printer ran out of ink.
When I was on a train and suddenly got hit with crippling stomach pain.
One September, I saw a plane crash into a skyscraper.
Watching that footage on TV made my whole body shake.
At the arcade, while playing a fighting game, an opponent jumped in, and I heard someone across from me say, "The future isn't decided by fate."
So Kira Yamato plays fighting games too, huh?
When my estranged parents suddenly visited and asked, "Want to drive to the beach?"
In school, when the teacher said, "Pair up."
While visiting my parents, my downstairs neighbor, a friend, texted, "Can you keep it down?"
Who was making noise? A Zashiki Warashi, house spirit.
Recorders can be split into 3 parts, and the name label goes on the middle tube, right? After school, I sneaked into the empty classroom and swapped the mouthpiece of my crush's recorder with mine. I licked it happily, but tragedy struck during the next music class. She said, "Wait, this isn't mine." I wrote my name on the mouthpiece too, but this one's blank. I checked mine and saw her name in tiny letters on the back. She was popular, so the class erupted. Everyone said, "Ew, creepy." Then the teacher announced, "Now, everyone, show me your recorders."
That's terrifying. Absolutely doomed.
Right now, as I lazily browse forums despite having a national exam next week.
When I was hospitalized for pneumonia, then got acute bronchitis days after discharge.
During a procedure, the doctor said, "Huh? That's a lot of blood. Call another doctor."
When no red puyos drop in, Puyo Puyo.
In Tetris, when the stack reaches the 3rd row but no vertical 4 block appears.
When my room was tidied up, and my hidden adult magazines were stacked neatly on the desk.
After stubbing my pinky toe on a shelf corner, when the numbness won't fade.
It might be broken, but the lack of sensation is nerve-wracking.
At driving school, when most students were delinquents from a nearby high school, and a few targeted me.
In middle school, eating lunch alone in the nurse's office because I didn't fit in.
When my correct answer rate on 3 university entrance exam subjects was only 75%.
If the average was 70%, what does that mean for me?
When my parents walked in during me time with adult videos.
When my family found out about my 2.2 million yen debt.
In school, when seat assignments surrounded me with loud, outgoing classmates.
In Bomberman, when I got trapped between a bomb and a wall.
When a car hit my bike, sending me into oncoming traffic, and a truck was coming.
When I carelessly posted a smartphone screenshot on social media, with personal info visible.
When my school nickname became Taemanin, Anti-Demon Ninja.
When my mom said, "Sit here for a second."
After failing even backup universities because I gamed all day during my gap year.
In a math test, when my answer's denominator was absurdly large.
That moment you know, yeah, this is definitely wrong.
When a freshman took my hard-earned regular spot on the baseball team after 2 years.
During my restaurant shift, when I spilled miso soup on a shady-looking customer.
When I came home to find my door unlocked, even though I live alone.
When I realized my girlfriend wasn't coming out of the screen.
When I had no decent clothes for university, starting in April.
In fall of 7th grade, when I realized I was ugly, sweaty, and had body odor.
Right now, as I've lost my contact lenses.
The tsunami of stomach pain hitting right as class starts.
Falling off a breakwater during night fishing, left dangling by one hand on a rope.
When an email's subject line read, notification of selection results.
When I accidentally used casual speech with my boss.
When my pinky finger disappeared.
That's not doomed, it's packed wordplay in Japanese.
When my half-assed war essay made it to the school presentation finals.
When I woke up to 10 missed calls from my part-time job.
When my teeth crumbled every time I brushed them.
The moment I was born.
Right now, at 30, unemployed and still a virgin.
Right now, as I browse forums.
When I realized I'd left important work documents in a taxi.
You're the last one who should be leisurely browsing forums.
When I looked in the mirror.
When a fart brought more than expected.
When I glanced at the ceiling corners before bed.
Is sleep paralysis coming for me?
When I lost my wallet with cash, train pass, credit card, and driver's license.
When I got a center seat in a packed theater but needed the bathroom mid-movie.
After losing my temp job, getting evicted, and finding strangers at my parents' house.
When I woke up at 9:05 a.m. for a 9 a.m. shift.
Right now, remembering there's a test tomorrow.
At Yamada Denki's sale, surrounded by sketchy people and Chinese tourists.
When someone glued my anus shut.
When my school said, it takes a week to issue, after I requested my diploma for a final interview tomorrow.
When I caught a cold while living alone with no food or medicine.
When my PC only made startup sounds but wouldn't boot, then the sounds stopped.
At the hospital, the doctor showed me an x-ray and said, prepare for hospitalization. I asked, how long? He just said, do your best.
After arriving at the station, realizing I'd left my train pass, wallet, and phone at home.
When I realized I'd washed money in my pocket.
When my professor said, fix and submit your thesis by 5 p.m. tomorrow to graduate. But I woke up at 7 p.m.
When the police rang my friend's door at night because our gaming was too loud.
At an intersection, when a car came straight at me from the left.
When I realized I was gay.
Glad society's a bit more accepting now.
When I stepped out of my auto-lock apartment without keys.
When cops surrounded me at a park bench, just for sitting there tired.
When I stored all my keys, phone, and wallet in my helmet compartment.
When I RSVP'd to a reunion, despite being a NEET.
The moment I was born.
Right now, with a hernia too mild for surgery but too severe to ignore.
At a middle school reunion, when my crush showed up pregnant.
When I accidentally texted a friend, Mom, I'll see you tomorrow heart, instead of my mom.
Sending heart emojis to your mom, really?
When a fart betrayed me.
When I checked Down syndrome symptoms on Wikipedia and matched all of them.
When an old man cut in front of me at the toilet after I'd been clenching and shuffling.
When I realized my test answer sheet was off by one question.
Every time I look in the mirror, I say, my life is over.
For all of you, it's right now.
Browsing forums on a beautiful holiday means your life's already over.
For me, every day is Sunday, equals neat life.
That's all for this video. What did you think? Share your thoughts or your own stories in the comments. My favorite episode was the one about getting a "keep it down" text from a downstairs neighbor during a visit home. Perfect horror flavor. We'll keep uncovering Japan's hidden sides, so support us with subscriptions, likes, and donations. See you next time. Bye.